Good morning, everyone. This is Ryan Hillard with the Shane Day Mortgage Team, NMLS 1226157. And as you notice, I don't have a guest today. I normally do, but sometimes in this industry, of real estate and mortgage and lending and sales in general, and just in life in general, a lot of things happen. Things come up last minute, and people need to go do things that are more important. And I totally understand and respect and appreciate that there are more important things than doing a Facebook Live video. So with that in mind, I always have a backup plan. And today I'm really excited to talk about, what's up, Mal? I'm really excited to talk about what I call the referral pyramid. So in sales, we're all in sales at the end of the day. And the number one question and number one thing you see from everyone out there is, if you know anybody that's looking to buy or sell, if you know anybody that's looking for mortgage or to refinance, we always appreciate your referrals. And so why is the referral important is not the question that I want to answer, because I think we all know the answer to that question. But what I really want to cover is how the referral is earned. And it's just like anything else. It's like trust, right? I think that in this process of sales to me comes down to one really important thing, and that is trust. Who do you trust to be able to go through the process, to provide the right things to take care of you in the best way possible? And so as I go, hey, Amanda, what's up, Freddie? As I go through the process and the way that I think about this is just something that I've come up with on my own that I want to share with you and anyone in sales, anyone that might benefit from you. Appreciate that, Freddie. Anyone that might benefit from this. And so when I think of the referral, that's right, like that's the pinnacle. That's what we want up at the top of the hill, right? But there's a lot of things that need to go to get to that place. And so I think of it in a lot of ways like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And so that may sound a little bit silly in the beginning to some of you, but just stay with me and you'll see what I'm saying. So in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you have different levels of the pyramid. And the very basic one are really your physiological needs, your basic needs. So food, shelter, so on and so forth, right? Pretty easy, basic stuff. You move up that pyramid and you keep progressing into things that are a little bit more important. Maybe they're not necessary for survival, but you get to the point where you have self-actualization. And so you move from the basic needs to the psychological needs. You move from the psychological needs to self-fulfillment. And the self-actualization is a self-fulfillment. In my example today, I'm going to be talking about how that self-actualization, for me in the referral pyramid, that is what we would call a raving fan or a disciple or an advocate, someone in your business that is going to be able to go out and represent you without you having to ask them. So it's easy to go out and ask someone, hey, can you go out and talk to someone about me for me, right? And get that third party validation, which is really important. And that's great. But we want those people to be talking about us, excuse me, when we're not there. And so how do we do that? And so I'm going to be speaking about this from a lender's perspective, because that's what I know. And so from a lender's perspective, the very basic, the bottom pyramid, right? You'll see right here, and I apologize for my terrible handwriting because I'm not good, and you can see the ring light in the background. So the bottom part of the pyramid is rates and programs, right? Every lender has rates and programs. That's not a secret. And what's great is there's not a lot of deviation for lenders in the rates and programs. I would bet you dollars to donuts that if you talk to 25 lenders in the Metro Denver market, or any market for that matter, that their rates and programs are within a really small deviation of one another. So what's great about here where I work with, at Leader One on the Shane Day Mortgage Team, Shane's a co-owner in the company. So he has the flexibility if it is a deviation on rate we have the flexibility to do the right thing to take care of the client. And so that's why we have that. We have access to the programs. That's not something that is really that important and hasn't ever really won or lost many deals for me. That's not where my career is going to hinge on to really be made or broken. So then the question is, if after this, how do we get from rates and programs all the way up here to raving fans, right? And so what's next? And what's next is systems. So I'm going to write that in, systems. And so what do I mean by systems? So systems for us, once the program is selected, what is important about the system? So the system is how we take someone from the beginning of the process and move them all the way through the loan manufacturing process and deliver at the end. So this is really important because this is where consumers or real estate agents or anyone else, again, speaking from the lending side, this is where they're going to hear people say, well, we can deliver in 20 days. We can deliver in 15 days. We can deliver in X days. We are on time. Okay. So that's important, right? But that doesn't get you up here. You don't go from systems to referrals and raving fans. That's like, to me, going into Target and wanting to buy something for $50, getting to Target, it's $50, and then walking out and being surprised that it was $50. If you're surprised that it was $50, that they only did exactly what their job was, right? And I get a little animated on this because doing your job doesn't earn you the referral. Doing your job just means that you're doing exactly what you are paid for and what is expected for you. It's the difference of performing versus outperforming. And referrals are only earned when we outperform. So in some cases, you can get a referral from there, right? Let's not mask that. You can get a referral by performing. So if someone was stuck, you need to come in at the end of the day. They're not too worried about what the rate is. You have the rate, you have the program, your system is able to get them closed in 10 days. That's awesome. And that is something that they're going to be stoked about because that is, you've provided something of value to them to earn that referral. But this is also really important because it's where so many people get stuck. And so you're going to see why here in a second, because the next thing is experience. And this to me is the number one thing right here that is going to earn us the people that are going to refer to us and the people that are going to be our raving fans. So if we have something that can provide an amazing experience to the client, how did we make them feel, right? That is the most important thing. What are all of the little things that we can do throughout the process now that we've established trust? We've already have the rates and programs. The loan manufacturing process is a given. And how do we do all of the little things to make that person feel special, to make that person feel heard, to make that person feel valued, like we are their friend that they can trust, that they can rely on to move through the process. When we make them feel that way, now we're talking about something that's really, really, really powerful, because they don't, an interest rate isn't going to make them feel that way. A loan program is not going to make them feel that way. It's all of the little things that you can do, all the personalized touches that you can do throughout the process to make them feel really special, valued, and heard and understood. And so, that's a different conversation, and we do so many of those things. But the reason that most people don't do those things is because they're wanting to, they're doing some of these things, but then they get busy because their systems, aren't that good, because the systems are failing them, because the systems are not routine enough they don't have the right people in place to work the systems. And so, for example, a loan officer, wants to be doing the experience stuff, but now they're going to have to go back and collect documents, or now they're going to have to go back and chase conditions. And now they're going to have to do all of these things that isn't their job, but because the system is not in place, they're not going to be able to write a thank you letter. They're not, or they're going to forget, or they'll justify it as saying, well, it wasn't that important. It's just this once, right? But it's not just that once. It happens a lot. And it's not just on that one thing. It happens on a lot of little things to that keep them and prevent them from building the relationship with the customer. So again, if you don't have the systems in place, you can never fully engage in focusing on the experience. And so again, here we keep disgusting amounts of data, and we know that 86% of our loans are ready to fund 10 days before closing. And so that tells us that the systems are in place. And this is a full, I could spend all day talking about systems, and someday Shane and I will come back and we'll talk about this, because it really goes to who are you hiring to make sure that you have the right people in place that are being fulfilled from doing their job to run your system for you. And so again, you can go from systems to here, but most people want to be here and they get pulled down into systems, and that's preventing them from elevating their game. So the next thing is a referral, right? You've already heard me talk about everything else. You can get a referral if you've done a pretty good job. You can get a referral from a system. You can get a referral from a program, but you're not going to get a raving fan from that. You're not going to get an advocate from that, or a disciple, again, whatever you want to call them. But I can't say I'll guarantee it, but what I will guarantee is that if you provide people with an amazing experience on a consistent basis by doing all of the little things to make them feel valued and heard, you're going to be able to get a lot of raving fans on a very consistent basis. So that's how I look at it. That's how I look at my business. And that's how, we are able to get people who are, who are raving fans for us, who have repeat business, and keep coming back to us and keep referring to us over and over and over again. And at closing, they'll give us, 3 or 4 names of people that we can help to help us grow our business, because we've provided them with such an amazing experience. So I hope I didn't ramble on too much. And again, Shane and I are going to come back, because I think there's so much more in here to unpack, that we're going to come back and we're going to talk about each one of these levels individually. It's not going to be today, but it'll be in the future. And I think those are going to be some great conversations for us to have. But I would love to hear anyone else's comments or questions on this below. Do you think I'm right on? Do you think I'm out of my mind? Is there something that I missed? What do you think about this? Let me know in the comments. Look forward to hearing from you, and I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend.